Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. No contribution with this video. Just waiting for some stories to come in. The queue is completely empty, so whatever comes in is going to be pretty much immediate. But what I did want to do is I wanted to kind of put a little bow on the Charlene story with her boss, because there is another update to that story. You know, I posted that video last night as soon as she got hired, as soon as we got home. She hadn't even notified her boss yet. So once she did a little later. You know, she explains to him, she's like, look, I'm not coming in anymore. I can't do it. It's too many miles. It's too expensive on the car. It's too many tanks of gas. You know. Now, she knows the guy has business in the area all over the place, including on our block. So, and she had one of the phones because it was her job to take one of the phones home with her for any emergency calls or what have you. So she's like, look, I got this phone. The car needs to go in for service. Would it be possible for you to have one of the techs in the area pick up the phone? So he goes, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. He goes, as a matter of fact, he goes, unless I have that phone back in the office at 8 a.m. tomorrow, meaning today, I'm not putting in your payroll, which is completely illegal, which you're not allowed to do. Even if she had been caught stealing, clearing out his entire warehouse, he's still not allowed to withhold payroll. It's completely illegal. But this is how this guy operates. He's a complete bully, and I could see her getting upset. You know, and honestly, can't have him withholding the payroll. So I said to her, I'm like, you have the code to the door, right? And she nodded. And I'm like, we'll take it back tonight. I don't give a shit, just to get it done with after dinner. So she tells him, she's like, you know what? We're gonna eat, and we'll drop the phone off since I have the code to the door, and I'll leave it on the desk, and then, you know, no issues tonight. We'll be there 8:30, 9 o'clock. He was like, okay, fine. So we get there about 8:30. She goes in and she's not coming out. All of a sudden I hear the alarm going off inside. So I get out of the car and she peeks her head out. She's like, can you help me with this? Because this code isn't working. Because she knows, you know, my past experience with alarm systems. I know alarm systems. She's punching in the code. Code's not working. I'm like, well, did you call? I'm like, well, call your boss and find out. She's like, I called him 3 times. He's not picking up. She's like, I think he's trying to get the police dispatched here, okay? So he gets charged and he'll somehow try to take it out of my pay. I'm like, He knew we were I'm like, look, he knew we were coming here, okay? You're calling him. The alarm panel's not working. That's on him. That's not on us. So she left the phone, took a picture of it on the desk so it would be left there. And we drive back, you know. So for the last time, the last 40-mile round trip, the last 40-mile round tripper. So walk back into the apartment, and I look at the computer, and there's a message to my Facebook Messenger from her boss, telling me, you know, asking me to have her call him. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and I said to her, I'm like, how does this guy know who I am? And she goes, that's just what he does. Like, he tracks down customers, he Google checks them, he probably looked at me, saw I was attached to you, saw your channel, and found you through Facebook. I was like, the guy has no boundaries whatsoever. I'm like, well, yeah, clear. That's clear. So she tries to call him again 2 more times. He doesn't pick up again. So I message him back. I'm like, she just called you twice. And in the meantime, she's like, I can't take this. She's like, I can't take this guy anymore. This is what he does. These are the games he plays. And she walked out really upset. Again, she walked out of the house. So then he goes, the phone never rang, and sends me another number. And I said, you know, and I replied back, calling now. And I called him. And the reason is why, if you're going to drag me into this, if you're going to Google her and track me down and start messaging me, you're bringing me into this now. So I call the number, and he's like, and he answered, Charlene. I'm like, no, this is Charlene's husband. And he goes, oh, Matt. And he don't know me. He don't know my name. Like, but no, he has it because he's doing all this research. And he's like, and I'm like, hello. And I used his name, and I used his proper name. I'm like, we just dropped off your phone. It's on your desk. The alarm was going off. The code wasn't working. And we were trying to call you 3 times, and you weren't picking up. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, I'm getting the calls on, you know, for the alarm, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. He goes, I just wanted to know. I'm like, well, that's what's going on. He's like, well, can I talk to her? And he goes, well, I'm going to need to talk. He goes, well, I'm going to need to talk to her at 9 a.m. tomorrow to find out what's what. And I go to her. So I said to her, here's my opportunity. So I said to him very calmly, I'm like, well, are you going to yell at her again? And he got real quiet. And he goes, what? What do you mean? He goes, and I said to him, I'm like, why do you think it's appropriate to yell at another man's wife, whether she's working for you or not? I didn't yell at her, dude. I swear to God, I didn't yell at her. I go, I've been with her for 12 years. She has not lied to me. I have never seen this girl. I'm like, this girl is terrified of you, and you send her anxiety through a roof. And she's not afraid of anybody. So don't tell me you didn't yell at her. I'm like, again, why do you think it's appropriate to yell at another man's wife? And again, dead silent. He's like, I swear. He goes, he goes, Matt, I swear I didn't yell at her. I didn't yell at her, dude. I didn't yell at her. He's like, look, I really do need to talk to her about some stuff tomorrow. I'm like, I'll have her call you, okay? But there's not going to be any yelling, is there? And I used his name again. I'm like, he's like, no. I'm like, we understand each other, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, she'll talk to you tomorrow at 9. And I hang up. And I hang up on him. She walks back in. And I'm like, why are you lying to me? He says he's never yelled at you once. And she was like, you could see it in her face, how mad, like. And what does he do at that point? Because he can't help himself. He calls back. And I answer again. And, I'm like, he's like, hey, listen. He goes, if I could just talk to her now, I won't even need to talk to her at 9 a.m. We could just go over these things. He goes, I swear to God. I'm like, and I look at her, I'm like, you want to talk to this guy? She's like, I'll get it over with. And she kept it on speaker. And he went over like just some basic, billing, what's what. And he goes, Charlene, he's like, I just want to mention that. He goes, Matt mentioned that, that you felt I was yelling and screaming at you. And he goes, it's just, I had 5, I got 4 or 5 people around me at all times. He's like, that's just not what I do. And that's just not what he's like, I'm sorry if you felt that way. He goes, but, I was never, he's like, I always tried to defend you. And to her credit, she goes, used his name. Okay. And I'm being nice here because I know he's found the channel and is probably watching. Okay. She's like, I've been working with you for a month. I see how you interact with people. What you're doing to me right now is gaslighting me. It's like, I know how you spoke to me. She's like, and quite frankly, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's like, is there anything else you want to talk about business-wise? He's like, no. He's like, I just wanted to, he's like, he's like, I just wanted to make it clear, like, like, sometimes I just talk loud, and it's like, he's like, it's not that. He's like, he totally backed off. And then tried to play the victim. He goes, he's like, I thought it was everything was working out okay, but apparently I'm just not a good boss. Yeah, apparently not. Apparently you're not. Right to the, A victim right to the end. A victim right to the end. So she's like, no, that's it. And then she told him, like, if you have any other business questions, you can call me back at, you can call me back at this number. Because he was calling the house line. You can call me back at this number. She's like, that's it. Like, and the boundaries that these people will break, like these people, like, you come and you message your employee's husband. Like, you come in using my name, you Google her and track her down through me, like, for real. For real. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, she's done with that, thank God. The yelling, the screaming is over. The yelling in her ear, all that is over. And I'm never going to admit to it anyway. But at least I'm glad I got to fucking call the guy out. Which I wouldn't have done. Which I wouldn't have done until he brought me into it by messaging me. Like somebody he's never spoken to, doesn't know, never had a conversation with. Yet he's tracking me down through Facebook and making demands through me to my wife. Because his attitude completely changed the second I called him out. I said, why do you think it's appropriate to yell at another man's wife? He knew, like, it was like the mask he had and the whatever he was fooling himself got pulled away and he saw it for what it was. Like, oh yeah, I think I fucked up. I think I fucked up. He knows he fucked up. And that's why he called back with his tail between his legs, worrying if we're going to sue or do whatever. And I think he's probably worried about the YouTube channel as well, that I have nearly 27,000 subscribers, and I'm going to name his shitty business and him. I'm not going to do that because I want to be done with you. Like, I want to be done with you. Like, it doesn't behoove anybody for me to be fucking with his shitty pool company. It really doesn't. It's just, as a man and as somebody who's protective of his wife, to have to deal with somebody screaming at my wife and making her fucking cry in the bathroom or cry outside. So, I figure I'd update you guys, put a little bow at the end of this situation, because you guys knew how upset I was the other day when I found all this out. So, I'm sorry you felt that way. Like, that's the apology you get. Like, typical narcissism. Typical narcissism. A couple people are like, well, is this another boomer? No, he's actually a little younger than I am. What I would say is he's more of like, he follows more boomer logic. He's not a boomer himself. He's a Gen Xer like me, but definitely a follower of boomer logic and boomer pity. I guess I was just a bad boss. Wah, wah. Yeah, guess so, dude. Guess so. That's why Charlene was the 11th person to have that job. 10 other people, including his wife, have sat in that chair and couldn't deal with him. She's number 11. I think she might have been able to hang in, one of the longest of all these people, other than his own wife. So I think maybe he deluded himself. Hey, I found somebody in a bad enough situation that's going to take my bullshit 6 days a week. No, nobody is. So, and like, just the relief today, like, she's been, she slept like a rock last night. She's good today. She doesn't have to go in till like 5 tomorrow. So, starts her new job at 5 tomorrow. So that's awesome. And it's right on the block, which is, oh God, thank God. So, that's the update, everyone. So, again, thank you, everybody, for your support and your concern. The queue is completely empty. I just have, like, one person seeking information that I think I'm going to set up a call or a Skype with. I got 2 other Skypes scheduled. That's it. So anything with contribution will be immediate. If you want to set up a Skype or a phone call as well, you know, going through Christmas or now through Christmas, we'll do that because the holidays are what the holidays are. So we'll wrap it up here. Thank you everybody for your support. You guys know what to do with the links in the description box. Support the channel. Keep it going strong. Send your stories in. Set up those monthly monthly recurrings because they help. They help as well. Every little bit helps. So wrap it up here, and I'll talk to you all soon. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.